How are we doing, everyone? Sam here from United People's TV, here with a live match reaction after Man United's 2-0 win over Zorya Luhansk. First half was probably one of the worst. Few minutes of the game actually killed a game off. Now, it seems like it's been a long time since Man United have actually killed a game off, so I'm pretty buzzing about that, but I'm not really buzzing about the overall performance. It was quite shit for the large majority. I thought first half Pogba was bad, trying way too much, but I'm going to try and focus on the positives because, you know, we've had a rocky couple of weeks. So we've had a rocky few performances, especially with the 1-1 at Everton, especially before this one. And when Marouane Fellaini came on, I was thinking, could it happen again? It didn't happen. Fellaini headed a few balls out, but I want to go through a few of the talking points. Number one, as Jordan has mentioned right there, Eric Bailly. Now, for a player who has been out for basically best part of a couple of months with a ligament injury, to come back in his first appearance away in Ukraine on a frozen pitch and put in a full 90 minutes performance like Bailly did tonight, you got hats off to him. You know, give him a round of applause because he looked as dominant as ever, putting his body on the line for every single tackle, full-blooded challenges, didn't hold back. Even when the stretcher came on, when he got a big shoulder to the chest, nah, no stretcher for me, mate. I'm walking off. And he stayed on for the full 90. Now, I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing in the fact that maybe Bailly's not going to be fit to play against Spurs at the weekend, because I would feel a lot more confident about that Spurs game if Bailly is in that team. Now, second positive of the game, definitely Henrik Mkhitaryan. I think Mkhitaryan played in a real free role tonight. I think in the first half, you know, as I said, he was shaky, but for him to get his first goal for Man United back in Ukraine, where it really started for him at Shakhtar Donetsk, that's something a little bit beautiful and something that I think mentally is going to mean a lot to Mkhitaryan. And it was a wonderful goal. I mean, that was a solo run, a solo finish, and at a time when Man United were really struggling, we had a little bit of individual brilliance. And we needed that a lot this season. We haven't got it too often. But again, tonight is an example. You saw cogs moving individually. You saw things happening not in unison. I'm going to read a few more of your comments here. I've finished my point there, actually. When it all clicks for Man United, like it will do next season, and like it will do hopefully at some point this season as well, watch out Premier League. You know, everyone's taking the piss out of Man United. Look at us, we're like 12 points off the top. We spent X amount of money in the summer. You're a complete fucking shambles of a club. Look how bad a manager Mourinho is. But they're not watching the performances. They're not seeing the improvements. Bit by bit, this Man United team is coming together. And we should have put Zorya to the sword tonight. And it was a tough game. You know, I would have been happy coming away with a scrappy 1-0 there. And it was looking like that until Zlatan made it 2. But let's run through a few of your comments here. One from Sam H saying, bad performances by a lot of the players. Mourinho went defensive neutral with his subs, and Fellaini was poor again. Rooney poor, Mata poor, Blind absent. Yes, I would say a lot of the players definitely underperformed tonight, but let's not forget how tough the conditions were. That was a really shit pitch. It was like a Sunday league pitch. And the football was okay at points, but it was lacking a real spark until Mkhitaryan brought it to life. Much better in the second game. Few of you are pointing out here about Fosu Mensah. Came on, guy's a natural athlete, and he's a natural footballer as well. Can play in a variety of positions: left back, centre back, defensive midfield. He's even played attacking midfield for the younger teams. And I was a bit upset to see Ashley Young starting at right back instead of him. You know, the 2-0 result has vindicated the selection, but would really have liked to see Fosu Mensah start at right back. And so far, Mourinho hasn't done much to get rid of the preconceptions of how he looks at youth players and how he approaches youth players, whether he goes for experience rather than talent and youth. That is a little bit worrying, I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to try and pick holes in a win tonight because it's a win and it puts Man United comfortably through. Armin saying we need to replace Rooney ASAP. I thought Rooney was going to leave a couple of years ago, but then Fergie left. I thought Rooney was going to leave last year, but then Mourinho came in. Somehow, there's different things that keep happening to keep Rooney at the club. Let's not forget that he was coming into his form again before that Everton suspension, and he looked a bit off the pace tonight. But as I said, it was a tough pitch, so I'm not going to be criticising or praising people too much for their performances tonight, because it was just a game where we had to go and get a point at least and just get through the Europa League. Sunday is where it matters. Spurs If we beat Spurs with 3 points behind them, back into that top 5, top 4 race, whatever you want to call it, we don't lose track with it. If we lose against Spurs, we're 9 points off 5th. That's a shit position to be in at the start of December or at any point this season. But let me know your comments. I think overall you've got to be happy. 2-0 win. Tonight just needed to be a professional, comfortable win. And it was. First half was shit. Second half, much improved. Pogba much better. I thought Herrera was good in the first half. Lots of interceptions and lots of winning the ball back high up the pitch. 2 standout players were definitely Mkhitaryan and by Zlatan getting his 13th goal in 22 games. Say what you want about him. I've criticised him a lot this season because his finishing has been quite poor at times, and if his finishing was better, he'd have a hell of a lot more than 13 goals. But there's positives today. And as a comment there is saying, Man United have killed the game off with a second goal. That's what we need to do. If we're in a position where we're 1-0 up, Man United need to sit deep defensively and hit fast on the counter-attack. It's exactly what we did, and lo and behold, Zorya were high up the pitch and we scored. That's what we need to do in positions of 1-0 instead of sitting deep and just trying to soak the pressure up on the edge of our box. That's it for the match review. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Final comment here from Art Sam saying, where do I think Mkhitaryan is better? Right, left or central attacking midfielder? I think we saw it tonight. When you've got Mkhitaryan running at a defence with pace through the middle, that's where he can really become an artist. I think he's good enough to play left or right, and I think he will play across the front three. And I think that's what all 3 of our attackers behind Zlatan or Rashford have to do this season. They have to be fluid. They have to be willing to... So Mata can play across the middle and the right. Rooney can play across all left and the centre. And Mkhitaryan can play across all 3. And Martial can play on the left and the centre too. So with that fluid, dynamic 3 attackers behind Zlatan or Rashford, that's what you want from Man United. That's what makes it hard for defenders to predict what they're going to do, and it makes it easier for Pogba and Herrera to find them with incisive through balls. But that's it for my match review. Man United 2-0 against Zorya Luhansk. Professional. We're not going to get overexcited. We needed that because anything but going through tonight would have been... It would have been horrible. The press would have loved it. We would have hated it. But Man United now got to get fully focused on that game against Spurs on Sunday. That's the tough one, and Spurs have been playing well this season, and as we saw, they spanked Man City. So what were they going to do to us? Hopefully not spank us, but let me know your comments about the game below. As always, thank you all for your comments. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're not already, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy.